I just got back from my video store, and to my surprise, they weren't selling any jelly donuts or Elsinore beer. But what they did have is a sweet copy of Strange Brew on Blu-ray. I'm Kevin Porter, and welcome to Video Rental Chaos. Hello to all you hosers out there on the internet. Strange Brew is a Canadian comedy film starring Dave Thomas, no, not that Dave Thomas, and Rick Moranis. Yes, that Rick Moranis. Strange Brew is loved by so many comedy fans around the world, or at least in Canada. Let's jump right into Strange Brew. We open the film with Bob and Doug premiering their brand new film to a large audience in a local theater. This audience quickly rebels as they feel the quality is not up to par. In a quick decision, they release a jar of moths in order to start a bunch of chaos, so they can quickly escape and avoid having to issue any other refunds, as they screwed themselves by using Dad's beer money to make a crying kid happy. Well, Dad stays on top of them and demands that the boys go get his beer the following day. Well, using another trick from the premiere, they stuff a mouse into a beer bottle and demand free beer. Well, the local beer store is not having any of this and send them on to the brewery for Elsinore beer. We are introduced to Brewmeister Smith, who is very, very evil. Bob and Doug show up and unknowingly save the new owner of the beer company, Pam, as her car becomes stuck in a gate and she almost got electrocuted with live electricity. We do find out that her dad had died under mysterious conditions and that his brother Claude had married his widow in quick fashion. Bob and Doug are brought up to the meeting by the former hockey player Jean Rosie LaRose under false pretenses as they lied about having a meeting. They soon accuse the company of shipping bottles of beer with dead mice. Instead of getting compensation, the boys get jobs on the line. Brewmeister Smith and his assistant do a test run to make sure that the mind control is working just fine. Pam lets her mom and Uncle Claude know that she thinks it's very strange and she does not support this unionship at all. The boys show up way too early as they had challenged each other to stay up all night in order to make it to their first day of work on time. They then find an old video game called Galactic Border Patrol. It's possible that Pam's father is haunting the facility as they run into some strange issues with the Galactic Border game. The Brewmeister, however, has his eyes on them as he knows that his secret is about to be found the fuck out. Pam then gives the Brewmeister his 2 weeks as the Meister and Claude have to act quick in order to come up with a plan to achieve world domination. The boys and Rosie join up for the test group to continue the mind control testing. Henry and Pam soon do find out the truth that her father was murdered and that Uncle Claude and Brewmeister Smith are to blame. Bob and Doug soon go back to the locker room, but their clothes are gone. It's revealed that Claude and Brewmeister Smith had stolen the clothes and are going to frame Bob and Doug for kidnapping and attempted murder as they drug Pam and Henry and Bob and Doug. Right before they're drugged, they are given the file with the help of Pam's dead father that contains all the information that is needed to prove the crimes of his brother, Claude and Brewmeister Smith. They stuff Henry and Pam into large beer kegs and load them into the van. They give Bob and Doug strict instructions to go straight to the venue as these kegs of beer are for Pam's birthday. They gotta hurry up though as the brake lines have been cut and they're gonna run out of time quick. They follow Doug and Bob around Toronto and soon the brakes go out and the boys are being pursued by the police and they land right in the water. Luckily for the boys though, Rosie follows and is able to save all 4 of them. Right before Pam is able to spill the beans, she is again drugged. We are given a quick intermission. The boys are now locked up in jail pending trial. Now, that's how you deal with the media. We see the evil bastards putting together a fake timecode VHS tape of the security footage. We come back with the trial of Bob and Doug McKenzie. The boys end up being declared insane and are put under the Brewmeister Smith's supervision at the local insane asylum. Pam has been declared mental also and is now being held at the facility as well. Rosie is almost killed but comes to it right as Claude kills the patient next to her. He is able to escape and heads back to the asylum to save Bob, Doug, and Pam. The cops are catching up and suspect that there is something more going on as they discover the file that Bob and Doug had unknowingly left behind as they thought it was some sort of new wave album. Right in the nick of time, Rosie shows up to take out the assistant and save Bob and Doug. Moments later, they are able to find Pam, and it's 2 minutes for elbowing. Pam's father is again up to his ghost antics and releases all the insane mental patients. Pam's father reveals himself to Brewmeister Smith and Uncle Claude. Not even fazed, Smith tells Claude to get his shit together as they still can pull off his plan if they can get the beer to Oktoberfest. The group has to split as Doug goes with Rosie and Pam goes with Bob. Brewmeister Smith shows up and again kidnaps Pam and Bob. He plans to drown them in beer. It's time to lace up, you hosers, and save the day from their evil plan. Rosie gets the upper hand and kills Brewmeister Smith. Pam's father helps Rosie out and shows him where Pam and Bob are located. Uncle Claude is about to find out what hard time is all about as their evil plan is just about over. Bob took it upon himself to save Pam and drank all the beer. Pam's father appears with a message that they have to stop them before they get to Oktoberfest. And nice effects, eh? Soon the cops show up and the insane asylum is on fire. Thankfully, Bob's urine puts out the entire fire out with one big piss. Bob and Doug have a grand idea on how to stop them. They will spray their dog with a white stripe to make him look like a huge skunk. The dog will be enticed with the promise of free beer and all the sausages he can eat. Boom! He is off to Oktoberfest to save the day right in the nick of time. As the movie ends, Rosie is in love with Pam, and Bob and Doug are given the keys to the truckload of beer. As the credits roll, we see Doug and Bob on the set, sending the crowd home super happy. I was first introduced to this film as a teenager. It has been in my rotation ever since. We just recently went to our local theater and saw Strange Brew on the big screen. There are few films I truly feel nostalgia for watching in theaters. Strange Brew is one of them. The title track, Strange Brew, is super catchy and catches the 1980s sound perfectly. This one is a home run in my book. And if you're not a fan of this film, what's wrong with you, hoser? SCTV is something I need to go back and check out more of, though. As a kid, my main focus was on either Saturday Night Live or Kids in the Hall. So many awesome comedians came out of SCTV. Like I said, this is one of my all-time favorite films, and it's not even up for debate. Now, take off, okay? And, I'll see you at the video store.